What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Game Showcase 2025 and what I thought about it and the games that stuck out to me from throughout the whole show. Just to give you a review straight up front, I think this was a solid to good show, just slightly better than Summer Games Fest. I think if you look at the show with first party games in mind and what really wasn't there, then it's more of a disappointing show where there's not a lot of first party things that we saw that I thought we would. I got a lot of the predictions that I made in that video wrong, which is fine, but there was a lot of things I thought would be there for sure that were not there, and it looks like Xbox is kind of saving everything up for a really big year next year. But if you take a look at the show with first party not really in mind, you just look at the games that were shown, I think this was a pretty good show. Nothing crazy, not as good as last year's show, but I think it was a solid show if you look at it from that perspective. And there were some good games that we saw, some games that I'm excited about, sequels that I didn't think we'd see, stuff like that. So I just want to dive in, and just like with the Summer Game Fest video, I'm only going to talk about the games that I kind of jotted down throughout the showcase and the games that stuck out to me, and we'll talk about one game at the end that really wasn't. I'm only going to get kind of negative at the end of the video when we talk about that game. We'll get there soon, but let's talk about some games. Let's talk about what I thought about the Xbox Game Showcase. So without further ado, let's dive in. So to start the video off, I want to go ahead and do a 2-in-1 and talk about The Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2. So let's talk about The Outer Worlds 2 first. This started the show. We got a quick trailer. We knew we were going to get the direct at the end of the show, but they opened the show up, gave us that date. It is coming October 29th, and based on what we saw in that trailer and also with that really deep dive direct, I am super excited for this game. I really want to go back to the first game, kind of get the world down, get the story down, get the feel of the game down. I've only put a couple of hours into it earlier this year. I am going to go back and finish it before 2 comes out, but I think based on what we've seen from it, I think this is the best direct that Xbox has done, even with the Black Ops 6 direct and even Starfield. I think the Starfield direct was very good back 2 years ago. To me, this is my favorite direct they've done. I think it was shorter than the Starfield direct, but it gave a lot of information, a lot of really good things. It had humor in it. The writing in this direct was really good. I was not expecting that. It was a lot of funny moments, and I'm just excited for Outer Worlds 2. I am a lot more excited than I was going into it. There's a lot of cool things they're doing. They're taking a lot of inspiration from Fallout. They talked about New Vegas a lot. Obviously that's their game. That's a very good game to take inspiration from. They're bringing radios in. They can swap from first person to third person. Brand new science weapons and armor. The art style, they said, was like a World War I setting. With that, just to me is really cool. I love how they mentioned that, and the feel is different from the first game, where the first game was, you know, they said in the direct, more corporations, more politics style things. And in this game, it's more about kind of the grittiness of the world. There's not as much of that as there is all these different factions that they talked about, lots of different companions. I mean, there's a lot in this direct, so if you haven't watched it and you're at least a little bit interested in Outer Worlds 2, I would go check it out. There's a lot of information there, a lot of good information. So we thought Obsidian was releasing 2 games in 1 year, which for one studio is insane to do, but then in the middle of the showcase they dropped the bombshell. Boom, a third game is coming from Obsidian, and it is Grounded 2. Before we dive into that, just props to Obsidian. I mean, most of the time, if you ever see a studio put out 3 games in 1 year, the kind of connotation to it is that, oh yeah, all these 3 games are going to be rushed, they're not going to be high quality at all. And Avowed, a lot of people were mixed on it, some more positive, some more negative, but I don't think anyone thought that that was a completely terrible game. I thought that from what I saw, what I played, it was at least a quality game. And now they're putting out Grounded 2, which is coming out July 29th, and Outer Worlds 2. They're putting out quality games, 3 quality games in 1 year. So I just think that needs to be commended, that needs to be talked about. That is a crazy feat for any studio. So congrats to Obsidian. That is a big deal. But Grounded 2, Didn't expect this one. Didn't really get into the first Grounded, but Grounded 2 kind of seems like, maybe I can get pulled in by a Grounded 2. I'm going to go back and play a bit of Grounded before this comes out. It's coming out in game preview, so they're kind of taking the approach they did with the first game, where they're going to build the game with the community. That means it'll probably come out, might not have as much content as you would want, but they're going to add content, they're going to build content. And I think for this style of game, it worked with the first game. I think it's going to work with the second game, which also means that if I end up playing Grounded 2 a whole lot, and even if it's my favorite game of the year, I don't want to put it on my end of the year list just because it's not fully out. I wait for games to fully have that 1.0 launch, and then I'll consider putting them on my list. But besides that, Grounded 2 looks really cool. I am excited to dive into this, play the first game, and then go and play the second game and see what the differences are. It's a bigger game. They're doing 2 sequels. They seem like they know what they're doing with the sequels. So I'm excited for both Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded 2. More excited for Outer Worlds 2. That's just more my type of thing. But Grounded 2, I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to give it a shot. Both games are coming to Game Pass. So very, very excited for both of Obsidian's next projects. So after the Outer Worlds 2, we got High on Life 2 being announced. High on Life came out, I think, late 2022 and was a surprise hit for me. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Wasn't the best game of that year, but I think it was a solid to good game, pretty good game. I thought I liked the writing and the humor. Humor and comedy is subjective, so that might not have been your type of thing. But for me, I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect a sequel, especially not this soon. I mean, it's only 3 years, but if they can improve on the gameplay and not just rely on the comedy to kind of carry the game. The gameplay was solid. I thought it was fun, but it was just kind of there. It was basically got the job done. If they can improve on that, which in this trailer, which was really weird, like I think it was cinematics, but it looked like gameplay. I'm not really sure what the trailer was, but it looks like they're bringing in a lot more weapons, that's always a good thing. The weapons are kind of the key in this game, the talking guns, and if they have a lot more of those with really good comedy and personality and stuff like that, I think that goes a long way. But just improve the gameplay with High on Life 2. The trailer was showing the main guy riding around on a skateboard the whole time shooting people, which that could be pretty cool. There was a bow and arrow, there was dual wield guns. I think a High on Life sequel could be very good if the gameplay is improved upon a lot more than it was in the first game. This is coming winter of this year. It's coming to Game Pass day 1, so I will be checking this out. Hopefully it's not too far in the winter, maybe like early December, but we'll see. Very excited to check out High on Life 2. Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy is coming in 2026. This one was a surprise. At first, I really couldn't tell what this was. I was thinking maybe Tomb Raider. They're taking a really different approach to Tomb Raider and throwing it back in 1700s Rome or something like that. They were taking it way back, but I could not have guessed that this was a Plague Tale game, and it's a definitely interesting approach to a new Plague Tale. If they're going to make a third game, that game might be further out. They might be taking their time with it. So kind of expanding on and building in this universe, I think is a cool idea, and we'll see what this little side story standalone game can do. Very big fan of the Plague Tale games. I think they are hidden gems. I don't think they're talked about enough. Plague Tale Innocence and Plague Tale Requiem. Plague Tale Requiem is my favorite game in 2022. I love that game. Love the characters, the setting, the story. Those games, if you haven't played Plague Tale, you definitely should. It is basically just Last of Us, but set, way back in time. Not way back, but in the 1800s. I'm probably screwing the timeline up, but plague, rats, stuff like that. Really cool, gritty storytelling, emotional storytelling with great characters, great music. I think if you haven't played Plague Tale, you definitely should. And I'm excited to see where the Plague Tale universe and franchise goes. Doing a standalone game is risky, but I think could be done very well and give the fans of Plague Tale something to hold on to. And if we see a third game, that game might be further out. Give us something to play while we wait for that third game. So I'm excited to see what Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy is, and it's coming next year. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Order of the Giants DLC is coming out September 4th. Super excited to dive back into Indiana Jones. Just give me a reason to go back to this game. I loved it. It was a big surprise for me back late last year. It was my runner-up for Game of the Year. Machine Games knocked it out of the park. Did not expect this game to be as good as it was, but it really was a great immersive sim Indiana Jones game. And getting this DLC, getting a reason to go back and dive in, getting a new story, a new mystery to go solve and explore, I'm all for it. I knew this DLC was coming, everyone did. If you had the season pass, it was already announced. But just having that date, super cool, give me a reason to go back. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Order of the Giants DLC is coming out on September 4th. I didn't jot this one down, but I definitely want to talk about it because it was probably my game of the show, and that was Clockwork Revolution from inXile. A very extended gameplay / story and dialogue, kind of a deep dive without being a deep dive. I mean, it was like a 4 or 5 minute trailer that went on for a lot longer than I thought, but I was very okay with that because they showed gameplay off, they showed customization off, character customization, weapon customization, dialogue options, your character creator and the traits and abilities. They showed a lot off, and it looks so good. I love this aesthetic. I've said before, it gives me BioShock Infinite vibes. I'm all for that. I'm here for it. This studio is very talented. They've had very well received games. Wasteland 3 I never got into, but I've heard very good things about it. And Clockwork Revolution, the one thing that we surprisingly did not get is any sort of date or window. That was a big surprise. For how much they showed off, I was thinking, oh yeah, this has at least got to have a 2026 date on it. But it had nothing. It just said coming in due time. So that was a little disappointing, but let's let inXile cook. They look like they have something good in the works. Whenever this game comes out, I'm going to be here for it. Just take the time with it. Make sure that it is as good as it can possibly be. I wish we had a date, but not the end of the world. Clockwork Revolution is coming in due time, and it looks very good. Chronos: The New Dawn is coming fall 2025. This is from Bloober Team, the team behind Layers of Fear. They did The Medium, but also most recently they did Silent Hill 2 Remake. And this looks really cool. It looks like a Dead Space style game. Third person, gory gameplay, really creepy settings and enemies. Don't know a whole lot about it. I know we saw it earlier this year. A lot of people are excited for it. I am interested in it. Not coming to Game Pass. So with a lot of games coming out in that fall window, it might be fighting with a lot of other games to, see which one's going to take the playtime away. But if reviews come out and reviews are looking pretty good and it's looking like a very good game and there's a window where I can maybe get this game in, I would be very welcoming to play this game. I think it looks very cool. Chronos: The New Dawn, coming from Bloober Team, and it is coming out fall 2025. There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. It's coming next year. This one caught me by surprise. It looks super unique. There was a lot of stuff happening in this trailer. At first, it was a very music heavy forward. You had the characters singing along, and then it was kind of revealed to be this sim based, you have a town to rebuild style of game, but then there's some mystery behind it. There's some story there. I think taking the sim type of game, we see a lot of these games, like a power wash simulator. Recently there's a spray paint simulator, car mechanic simulator, gas station simulator. There's these simulator games all over the place, but taking that and building on top of it and introducing some story and mystery to it, I think could be a really cool idea. Apparently it's a musical style of game. There's going to be very heavy emphasis on the music, which I'm excited for. There's a lot of things here, a lot of different gameplay styles that we saw. At one point, we were even driving around a boat. I mean, this trailer went a lot of different places, but all those places I'm excited for. So, There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. Very cool name, by the way. This game is coming in 2026. Mudang Two Hearts is coming in 2026. This was a big surprise. It had a lot of, I felt like, Metal Gear Solid in there, even though I've never played Metal Gear Solid. A lot of stealth gameplay with very high action gameplay too. It looked like you were able to, pick your battles, choose if you wanted to do stealth or if you wanted to approach it loud. Very cool art style, story-wise. It looks like it's going in very cool places. Didn't expect this one. No idea who the team is behind it. I think it might be their first game. I could be wrong about that. But this looks really cool. Gonna keep my eye on it for sure. Mudang Two Hearts is coming next year. Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf is coming next year. This one was an even bigger surprise to me than High on Life 2 was, because usually with these, Play Dead games, it's not Play Dead, but those style of games, you're inside, you're Limbo. We see a lot of these styles of games, and I'm a sucker for them. You got Neva that came out last year that was really good. Cocoon that came out in 2023. This came out in 2023 as well, the first game did. And seeing a sequel, you don't usually see sequels to these types of games. We never saw an Inside 2 or a Limbo 2, because usually these stories are very contained. It's just like a solo standalone story. So seeing the developer come back and taking on the story again with these characters, I really enjoyed the first game. It was a big sleeper hit of that year. There was a lot of games that came out that year, so I don't remember where it ranked on my list. That was a stacked year of games. I'm glad I got around to this game though at the end of that year, or I think it was the beginning of 2024 when I finished it. If you haven't played Planet of Lana, go play it. It might still be on Game Pass, but if it's not, I would still go at least check it out, see if it's your type of thing. Excited for a sequel. I'm glad that we're getting a sequel to this game so we can see how they can explore the world again and in deeper ways. Getting a sequel, big surprise for me, but I'm excited for Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf coming next year. At Fate's End is coming in 2026. This is coming from Thunder Lotus, the studio behind Spiritfarer, which I haven't checked out yet, I haven't played, and 33 Immortals. That game is being worked on. It's in early access, game preview, whatever you want to call it. This one, big surprise for me as well. At the beginning of the trailer was, this was pretty cool. This looks pretty solid. And then the trailer went on. We saw more combat, more gameplay. We saw this card mechanic be brought in. I'm not sure if that's like abilities or really what that is at all, but that looks intriguing. I'm excited to see what impact that can have on the gameplay. And also, it looks like the story that revolves around family in a very dramatic way, kind of like Expedition 33 was, which I'm all for that. That can be very well done and be told in a dramatic way. Excited for Fate's End, I think. And there was also gameplay, or there was dialogue in the middle of combat, which that was cool to see how that's going to work. It seems like there's a lot of cool ideas here. This is a very talented studio. Spiritfarer, from what I've heard, is very good, very emotional game, has a lot of great reviews, so we know there's talent here. It looks like a lot of potential here. The art style is really cool. Definitely going to keep my eye on this one. Fate's End is coming in 2026. The second to last thing they talked about was Keeper, the brand new Double Fine game. There wasn't a lot of first party stuff here, but this was one of the very few things that were first party that were at the show. We saw Double Fine's brand new game, and it is interesting to say the least. I don't think anyone expected them to take this approach to it. You play as a lighthouse. There are no spoken words, apparently. Who knows? Maybe this team is working on two different projects, and this is that smaller type of project. I don't know if there's been any mention of Tim Schafer being involved in this game at all. But it's a Double Fine game, and they are always super creative with their games. Psychonauts 2 is a fantastic game. So even though this one confuses me, and I'm not really sure where we're going, I'm still going to play this game. It's a Double Fine game. I want to see what the studio can do. Interesting concept. It's very interesting playing as a lighthouse. I'm not sure where this is going to go, but it is coming this year. That was a big surprise. Did not expect this game to be so soon. So Keeper is coming on October 17th. And the one more thing for the show was Black Ops 7. I want to try to keep these videos positive. I want to try to talk about all the games that I really liked to see, the games that caught my eye and caught my attention. But I do want to talk about Black Ops 7 and why this was not a good choice at all for the last game to be shown. Super underwhelming. It was a cool trailer. It had everyone wondering, what is this game? This looks really cool. And then for it to be revealed to be Black Ops 7 at the end of the trailer, it just did not hit for me, at least. This might just be a me thing, I'm not entirely sure. But super underwhelming last announcement. I don't think Call of Duty should ever be the last thing shown at a showcase. I think if this thing opened up the show, if we had Black Ops 7 opening the show, I don't think it would have been as bad. But with Call of Duty coming out every single year, we don't want one more thing. I'm not going to say we, because obviously I don't speak for anybody. Me, I don't want Black Ops 7 or just any Call of Duty game that is coming out every year to be that last thing shown. I'm cool with it being in the middle of the show, even maybe at the beginning of the show. But that last thing is supposed to be, you know, your thing that you didn't even know existed. The game that, or at least in Elder Scrolls 6, like that type of announcement, at least it's supposed to be. Last year it was Gears of War E-Day. We did not expect Gears of War E-Day. We didn't expect Black Ops 7 because the trailer looked so cool. No one thought it was Black Ops 7. And everyone knew this game was coming out. They might not have known it was Black Ops 7, but if you pay attention to Call of Duty, the leaks have been saying that it's Black Ops 7. Apparently the campaign's in a really bad spot. It's going to be a lot of open world stuff like with Modern Warfare 3, which is not good. It's another game where the same developer, Black Ops 6 just came out last year, and the same developer is making this game. I don't like the way that they're doing that at all. It's coming to Game Pass. I'm still going to check it out. I have enjoyed, for the most part, Black Ops 6. The campaign was very good. The multiplayer is okay to solid. Zombies is very good. I just don't like the Call of Duty cycle. I'm getting very tired of it. I don't like this announcement being at the end of the showcase. I think it would have been fine, like I said, in the middle or at the beginning possibly. But having this be your one last thing, very underwhelming. It could have been a lot of different things. Even that Halo CE remake that was teased, which we'll talk about in a second, right before this, I think that would have been way better of a last announcement. But Black Ops 7, not a good last announcement. Not very excited for it, just based on the leaks and stuff that we've heard. If you're into Call of Duty, you know what I'm talking about. So, not saying this game is going to be terrible, but having this as the last game in the show was not a good move for a otherwise pretty solid show. The last thing that I want to talk about before we get out of here is the stuff we didn't see. I came into this show expecting a lot of first-party presence, and we didn't get that, so that's why I'm a little lower on it than most people are. Even though the games that we saw were solid, I was expecting a lot of first-party stuff, and we only saw stuff like the Indiana Jones DLC. We saw Double Fine's brand new game. Clockwork Revolution was there without a date, without any kind of window. Outer Worlds 2 was there. Even Grounded 2 was there. Obsidian really carrying this year for Xbox. Black Ops 7, we got a Tony Hawk trailer, but besides that, very, very lack of first-party presence. Didn't see Gears of War at all. That was a big one that, you know, a lot of people are saying that this game is further along. It might even be closer than we think, but not seeing it here. Very surprised about that. We did have Phil Spencer come out at the end of the show before Black Ops 7 and say, we are getting a new Gears of War next year. We are getting Forza Horizon 6 next year. And I forgot, he said something else, another game that was in there. Fable is also coming next year. And then a tease at the Halo CE remake. He said a return to the classic that's been with us since the start, so that's definitely coming next year. That one, like I said in predictions video, I thought it should be here because Halo has not been at a show in a big way in a long time, so it skipping out was a little disappointing, but maybe the best idea was for that remake to show up next year and then be announced to come out in a couple of months. No Perfect Dark, didn't expect that. We did not see anything from Everwild. I don't know if that game's ever going to come out. State of Decay 3 was a big one that I thought we would see something about that game. Was not at the show. Very surprised about that. No Spyro 4. That one not really too big of a surprise. So a lack of first party but it seems like next year, that next showcase is going to be full of first party. Developer Direct early in the year is going to be maybe even all first party. It seems like they have like 6 or 7 games that could come out next year, maybe even 8, a lot of games. So interested to see how they're going to approach the Developer Direct and the showcase next year. So the lack of first party was disappointing. From my perspective, that's kind of how I was coming into it, expecting a lot of news and updates about those games, and we didn't get that. But like I said, a very solid show otherwise. So that'll do it for the video. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me talking about the Xbox Game Showcase for this year. Overall, like I said at the beginning, very solid show. The lack of first party games kind of brought it down for me, but that's just how I was coming in for it. I was expecting a lot of first party, but we did still see a lot of good things that I'm excited for. I think this was a small step up from Summer Games Fest that we saw a couple of days ago. I think both were solid shows. The State of Play, did not think that was all that great. Was not very excited for what I saw there, but overall a pretty solid weekend of showcases. Definitely think last year was better, but we still have the Game Awards at the end of the year, which really capped off last year in a big way, so I'm very excited about that. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll talk to you later.